What's up, guys? It's Mama K, and today I'm going to show you my high round strat. We're loading into Liberty Falls. I'm on round 500. This is my personal best. I have not died yet, so we are flawless. And I'm going to walk you through my strat. We're going to do this in real time so you guys know exactly what I do. So to get started with this strat, everyone always says, how do you get set up? How do you get set up? And honestly, the only thing that you need to do to get started here is build the jet gun. So right now we're sitting on top of the bank. Again, this is Liberty Falls. I do have insta-kill here, so I'm going to go ahead and use my GS45s. All I do is I build the jet gun and then I come out here. I have the GS45s as a secondary, but I am mainly using my wonder weapon. And again, if this seems like it's all over the place, I'm showing you everything that I do. I only use the GS45s when I have insta-kill, and I like to shoot them one bullet at a time, so I'm not worried about the zombies rushing me while reloading. Okay, so we called in the nuke. I will caution you, if you're going to call in a nuke, just be prepared for zombies to continuously kind of rush you until they're all gone. That is one of the mistakes that I made. So hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes. So we built the jet gun, and all I'm doing here is I am spamming the jet gun. So I get a lot of questions over and over again. How do you use the jet gun without running out of ammo like that? And the answer is I'm just tapping it. I'm tapping it over and over again while also tapping my armor. So if you watch my health, you can see that I'm paying attention to that. And that is the most important part of high rounds, right? Because you're not gonna die if you watch your health. Okay, so I got knocked off. What I like to do is call out my I pull out my melee. I pull on this trap that just kills more zombies, so I don't have to worry about it later. And then I go right back to my spot, and I'm gonna pull out my jet gun here. So we're just gonna repeatedly tap the jet gun and constantly plate. So many times people come in and they say, Mama K, like, I tried your strat, but I keep taking damage to the zombies. Yes, the zombies come in so fast. They're so fast. It doesn't seem like it's that fast because I'm pulling them in with the jet gun, but you do have to be prepared. Now I see a mutant injection to my right, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is call in the mutant injection that I have. Now, because I fell down here, so nothing I can do there. So I'm just going to stay down here and use my mutant injection. So everyone always asks, like, why don't I use a chopper? Why do I use a mutant injection? Because the mutant injection is by far my favorite. It's just more controllable. I can focus on where I'm taking out the zombies and also pick up my salvage. Now, because I knew I was going for a much higher round, so for example, my goal is 999. I have tried not to spend my salvage. I actually maxed salvage. I got 999,000 at round 377. So if you rarely spend your salvage, that's how long it takes for you to kind of get max salvage. My mangler's almost up, so I'm going to go ahead and run up here. I'm gonna plate because I'm missing a plate. These zombies hit really hard when you get up here, so paying attention to your health is so important. I did get one abomination. I picked up that mutant injection. I'm probably gonna get another one here. The abominations spawn in every 5 rounds. But all I'm doing is tapping the jet gun and constantly plating. I'm tapping the jet gun and constantly plating. And if you can do that and watch your health, you can do this strat. Now, I like to run Aether shroud. The augments on my Aether shroud are void sheath and extension, so it automatically pulls out my melee weapon. And what I like to do is focus on killing the manglers. When you hit them in their cannon and I have napalm, I have the void sheath, I have a stronger melee, that is going to do more damage to those zombies. Now, one critical point for that is with void sheath and extension, so you're gonna have your melee weapon. I like to use my fire, whatever that is. I prefer Semtex the most. Whatever that is, you're gonna get kills. It's gonna extend your timer. So the biggest, like the most important tip of that is to absolutely make sure you are back. You have to be back to that spot on the zip line before your Aether Shroud is up. If not, you will get caught and the zombies will swarm you so fast, right? So that's something super important here. There's a chopper on the ground, so I'm gonna go ahead and call this in. So whenever there's a chopper on the ground, I like to use those. Again, I'm not wasting my salvage buying it. I am just using kind of what's available to me. Now, I do like to have what I would call a contingency plan. So I was just saying that when you're in your Aether Shroud, it's so important to get back to your spot before it's up. If you don't and you're caught off guard, then you can use your kill streak. Again, I would recommend the chopper gunner or the mutant injection. The mutant injection is my go-to, but like with this chopper gunner being on the ground, I'm not gonna waste it. I also run Casimirs. You do have to be careful when you throw them. Sometimes they bounce off the zombies and they'll come back to you and they won't, you know, that you won't use them. So you do have to be careful with that. I am crouched down here. A lot of people will come in and say like, oh, like I always get knocked off, and I do get hit with the manglers. I stay crouched. I'm just tapping my jet gun. I'm just tapping my armor over and over again. And what I like to do is I kind of make a triangle with my eyes, right? I like to look at the number of manglers that are spawning in. I look at my health and I look at my field upgrade. I like using Aether Shroud. I think it's great for beginners because I cannot die while I'm inside this Aether Shroud, right? And the more kills I get, the longer it's going to keep me in here. I'm getting close to my timer running out, so I'm going to go ahead and jump back in. And I go back to plating and using my jet gun. And I'm just watching the spawns. I'm looking at the number of manglers. I'm looking at my health, and I'm waiting for my field upgrade to charge. Now, I know it's a lot, but if you can do all of that, you can do this strat. Like, I believe in you. So something else too is as I'm sitting here, if I start to get low health, or sometimes I don't get the armor that I need. So let's say like I'm getting hurt, I need to get out. I'll turn around and take a ride down this zip line. You can also drop off and run back up. Some people do their high round strats on this side. You can absolutely do that. That's fine. I don't like this side. And then I've opened up every part of the map except for that door on the hotel. And I have a different strat from like my higher rounds at max salvage. But if you're working on getting to 100, this is absolutely where I would be. Some folks like to come in and say, you know, standing here takes no skill. And I would argue it takes a lot of skill to mentally focus and pay attention and hit round 500 without dying, you know? So this isn't my first attempt ever, right? I've gone a couple. My previous personal best before this was 468. So we did just beat this. My goal is 999. But honestly, if you can pay attention to what's happening, I have said that high rounds is about playing smart and playing safe and not taking risks. Okay, so I'm always back before my Aether Shroud. I see a Casimir here on the ground. I also run Picky Eater on Vulture's Aid, and I'm going to tell you all of my augments at the end, but that is what's likely to give me my equipment back. So I get all of these Casimirs. You can buy these at the workbench. I know some people will come in and they say, hey, like, how did you get that? This is the LT53 Casimir. So there's a few over here. So while the zombies are going into the Casimir, you can run in. But just like the Aether Shroud, you have to get back before they are done. Another tip that I would recommend is I always try to make sure that I have one of three things. I have a mutant injection or a chopper, so I have a kill streak. Oh, I'm getting low on my health, so I'm just gonna pop back over here. Yes, this takes a long time, but this is what keeps me safe. And if you can watch your health, you're not gonna go down, right? Keep pressing the jet gun, tap it over and over again. Do not hold it so it's like a vacuum, right? You have to tap it and just constantly watch your armor, make sure you're plating. But I always like to have one of three things. I like to have a kill streak, a Casimir, or my Aether shroud, right? Those things are going to be what gives me a blanket. My Aether shroud is almost up, so it's sometimes you get tossed around a little bit, you know? The manglers be mangling. Something else while I'm thinking about it is on the zip line, if you just use that zip line, sometimes it has a cooldown, so I will run to that one over there in the cemetery and I'll use that one that in case you ever need to get back. Other times I've also ran towards the gas station and spawn, but that ladder is really hard to get up sometimes. Like sometimes you just bobble down and that makes me so nervous. It makes me so nervous. So I like my Aether shroud when it's ready. Again, I'm aiming for the mangler's cannons. That's gonna do the most damage to them. I do like to use Molotovs for the spider rounds. That's why I have those right now instead of Simtexes. I also know that other I would say like high rounders, like the legit people who are super good at high rounds, right? Like everybody knows Insomnia Virus, Devious, right? They will use energy mine and they use the turret sorry, I'm halfway. Look, I got a little under a quarter of my health there, so I'm just gonna jet back. This is gonna reset my health. It'll also reset your jet gun too, if you need that. So I'm gonna come back, play it safe. I see some salvage over there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my Casimir, and this is gonna let me pick up this. I picked up an extra plate, right? And I still got a Casimir spot available because you can have up to 2. So sometimes I'll use one, right? But yeah, so they will use energy mine and the turret on it. I personally like Aether shroud. I think it's great for beginners. Energy mine seems like it takes a little bit longer to charge. And again, like when you're in the Aether shroud, you can't get hurt, right? As long as you are cloaked. So it's up. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it. Another tip that I have is sometimes, like when I was popping that, zombies would still rush in towards me. So another tip as you're activating your Aether shroud is to continuously use your jet gun until it pulls out your melee, like until you know you're safe, right? That is so important. That way you are taking down all the zombies. And again, I'm not risking it. I play things safe. I also make sure I'm done throwing whatever lethals that I have before the zombies start rushing me. That way I am ready to go. Again, my favorite kill streaks are the mutant injection and the chopper. Sometimes I'll use the war machine. I do like the war machine, but you have to be prepared for your operator to pull it out. There is like a kind of like a reload animation to get it ready. So highly recommend that. Usually I will pop down the zip line. If I need to use that, I'll have it out and ready to go, and then I'll grab it. So if I fall down this way, here's the route that I take over here. See how if Triarch could fix that, if someone important is watching my video, I don't know what that little bobble is, but when you know zombies are coming in, it is absolutely terrifying. It's so scary. All right, so I'm making sure, since I'm gonna save after this, I want to make sure I have everything in place. So I've got a mutant injection, I got my Casimirs, my Aether shroud is almost up, but it's almost ready, but that's okay. And I want to make sure I'm in this spot before I save the game, because the game is gonna put you just about wherever you save. So we're going to save and quit. So that was my round 500 to 501. Again, I have not died yet. That took me 17 minutes. So that's kind of a long time, right? So what my plans are to move forward, especially as I'm pushing to 999, is I'm going to sit in that spot, work to get max salvage. Like I said before, I've already done that once. So once I get max salvage, I can mutant injection spam. So sometimes people will come in and watch the stream and they'll see me mutant injection spamming and they're like, how do I do this? And I'm like, well, you kind of have to get there. So what I like to do is I I am very conservative when it comes to using my my salvage. I try not to use it unless I have to, but I think it's always nice to have a mutant injection and those Casimirs. Some people use shock sticks. Honestly, it doesn't matter. There are so many different high round strats. Whatever you use is going to be great. This is just what worked for me. So whatever's going to work for you is going to work for you. Okay, so I'm going to quickly run through my augments. If you want to know my rationale, I posted why I use the augments that I use on my TikTok. It's the same handle, Mama K TTV. Woo. So you can watch that on there. So for stamina up, I have Free Faller and Hot Foot. Quick Revive. I'm currently using Dying Wish. I have one of those left when I lose that. So what that does is instead of knocking me, it'll take away my Quick Revive. Once I use all three of those, then I will go to Equivalent Exchange, which makes it so I don't have to use my Self Revive. I can just kill a zombie and get back up, but it does take my perks. So I do have one more Dying Wish, then I'll go to Equivalent Exchange. If you are just trying to get to high rounds, I think it's okay to start with Dying Wish and then go to Equivalent Exchange if you're just trying to get to 100. And then I have Slow Death. That one honestly doesn't matter because I'm not playing with anybody for this. Juggernog, I have Probiotic and Hardened Plates. Melee Macchiato, I use Vampiric Extraction and Strength Training. So it's going to heal me a little bit and it's going to kill normal zombies faster or longer. Vulture's Upgrade, I have Fetid Upgrade and Picky Eater. So Picky Eater gets my equipment back. Fetid Upgrade helps charge my Aether Shroud faster, which is huge. Speed Cola Supercharge, Field Upgrade charges faster. So again, I'm safe in that Aether Shroud. I want to charge it as fast as I can. Quick Swap, swap weapons faster. PhD, I have PhD Slider and Tribologist. Death Perception, I have Death Stare and Further Insight. Deadshot Daiquiri, I have Deadhead and Dead Break. I don't think it matters because I'm using the Wonder Weapon right. And then the major augment, I have Imperil Peach and Chillberry for elemental pop. So sometimes when those zombies are coming in with a jet gun and they hit you, that will trigger that random ammo mod, and I really like that. I'm running napalm on all my guns, so big game and incendiary. And then my field upgrade, I use Aether Shroud with Void Sheath and extension, but I know other people that are using Energy Mine with turret and the extra charge. So whatever you want to do, that's my strat. Some people come in and say, what kind of gobblegums do you use? I think to get started, I used a perkaholic just to give me all my perks so I didn't have to worry about it. I used wall power. I bought the GS45s off the wall, so that gave me a packed wall power. And honestly, I can't remember what the third one is. Sometimes I'll use hidden power just to save some of that salvage in the beginning. But that is my strat. Those are my augments. I don't open the left side of the bowling alley. That's the only door, is that first door on the left side by the vending machine. That's the door that I leave locked. I start on the right side. I build the jet gun and I'm sitting on top of the bank. My strat is literally just tapping the jet gun, spamming your plates. My biggest tip is just watching your health, right? If you're half health and you're in that spot on top of the bank, drop down, pull out your melee weapon, run, and reset, right? Because the zombies can't knock you if you're paying attention to your health and your armor. So just make sure you're constantly replating. Make sure you have like a contingency plan. So a kill streak, whether that's a mutant injection or a chopper. I like to use Casimirs as my tacticals, or your Aether Shroud. So those are all my tips and tricks. If you want to watch me, I stream live on Twitch and TikTok, Mama K TTV. I am pushing hopefully 999, so we'll see what happens. You saw me 500 to 501. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow to help support me, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. This has been such a fun journey, so I'm always happy to help people reach their goals, and I hope you get the Dark Ops calling card another round. Good luck and have fun.